Good morning, everyone. Lovely, lovely sunny Monday morning. Welcome to Team TDF's Wellbeing Webinar. For the next 20 to 30 minutes, we have a gentle exercise class for you. And this is time for me, time for you and you, time for me. My name is Geraldine. People call me Gigi. And I'm here with you today on behalf of the Disability Foundation. In each of the daily sessions, I'm sure you know by now, is an opportunity to experience different techniques, different therapists. And please remember with the exercise classes to check with your doctor before embarking on any exercise program, albeit gentle. Please remember to pace yourselves. Our bodies are all different. We can't all do the same things to the same extent. And exercise is a journey. As you learn to do the exercises or the sequences, more you'll find the flexibility comes. Please also remember all the videos and microphones are switched off. So if you do need to get hold of us or you do have questions or any comments, and all feedback is valuable, please remember to email therapysupport@tdf.org.uk. I'll try and remind you at the end of the session, and just as I say, do what you can, and we shall finish at approximately 12:30. So come along, give yourself this time and enjoy the class. We're going to come to standing today. I've got my block, I've got my blanket, I've got some water, it's hot today, remember to hydrate, and I've got my block. If you don't have a block, by all means use a book or something else to align yourself or to give yourself more strength or more posture. So let's come to standing straight. I like to put a block on top of my head until I find the posture. So looking forwards, you can use your hand to keep the block, the book, straight on your head. But really what we're aiming to do is to bring the chin up, looking ahead, long, straight spine, body perfectly aligned. And then pull yourself up. And when you have that position, it's a little bit at the breast. So it's fingers together at the front of your ribs, the lower part of your ribs, shoulders down as we do some breathing. And if you remember, we're going to take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And with a deep breath in, I'm filling the sides and front of my lungs. And if you watch, my fingers expand and come apart. So deep breath in. And the fingers come together again, engaging the lower ribs. And again, please note my shoulders are not up, but down. Blowing out candles or blowing out, you know, in the winter where you blow and you steam up a mirror. So breathing in, breathing out, and hands come together. And then from there, we're going to pull the belly button in, gently towards the spine, and then pulling ourselves back up. Remember the vision, or imagine the block on top of your head, and imagine your lower ribs hugging in, expanded and contracted, expanded and contracted. And from here, we're going to roll the shoulders back, feeling the stretch all the way down into the shoulder blades. Take your time. And the other way. Oh, good, nice feeling. Opening the chest, retracting the back. feeling stretched. And from here, I want you to envisage or imagine that you have a pencil on the tip of your nose as we draw a half circle, stretching the neck. So breathing in, breathing out as we drop the chin to the chest with that pencil, drawing an imaginary line, a rainbow of lines to the right. And if you can, your nose, your pencil looks over your right shoulder and back to the center. And over to the left. Breathing in, breathing out as we draw that imaginary line, that rainbow of color over to the right. And again, over to the left, looking over the left shoulder. Remember to keep the shoulders down, keep the belly button engaged, put it gently towards the spine. And again, as I do this exercise, I feel the bones in my neck releasing, creaking, crunching. You know, we sit at our computers all day, we're on the iPhone all day. This is time for me. Time to reverse those movements. Time to stretch out the body. Well, that's better. One more. Crunching seems to have gone. Looking over the right shoulder. And again, drawing with a pencil over the left shoulder. And now taking the arms out in front of you, let's make a fist to release the hips. Sorry, to release the wrists. Again, we're cooking, we're on the computer, we're driving. All these movements necessitate using the bones in the wrists. So let's give them some TLC. And release. Shake it out and release. Our hands up, so we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to take the palms of our hands facing in front of us. And the shape I want you to envisage is like a W. Way down there, all the way up, and to these fingers here. And we're going to pulse back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't drop, changing the position. Let's take the baby fingers forward and the thumbs pointing back, and let's pulse for 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't drop. See if you can stay with me. Hands forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last time, put the pinkies forward, the baby fingers forward, thumbs back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's shake it out. Shoulders should feel released, stretched. We're going to try something different today. Behind your backs, we're going to hold the wrists. So if I turn around to show you, taking my right hand across to my left wrist. Let's feel the stretch of pulling the left wrist down, the left hand down, and then changing hands. And then if you can, let's put the hands together behind the back and feel that stretch in the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the spine. And stay there, or if you can and want to increase the stretch, take your right hand to your left elbow, pulling down, breathing, release, and then take the left hand to the right elbow And let's see if that stretch works for you. Pulling down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you can of course grasp both elbows. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. And shake it out. And now coming to the front, just a counter pose. Take the right hands over the left wrist. And let's stretch the left hand up and over to the right. And feel the stretch in the side body, the stretch in the oblique muscles. 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse. So it's left hand to grasp the right wrist. Over to the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake it out. Well done. And coming to the side, we're going to go into our shallow squats. So we'll start from a very basic position, hands at the sides. And we always need to be able to see our toes. Pushing out the tailbone, we're looking for a straight spine forward. Remember, the neck is an extension of the spine, so the whole line from the base of the skull to the base of the buttocks should be straight. Pushing out the tailbone, bending the knees. Let's come down into a straight spine, pulling the belly button towards the spine. That helps to create a straight, long vertebra. If you look down, you should be able to see the front of your toes and press back onto your heels. If you want to see or challenge yourself that you're in the right position, try and lift the toes of the right foot off the floor and down, the toes of the left foot off the floor and down, both toes off the floor, or 10 toes off the floor and down. And then let's work on the hands. So taking the right hand forward in line with the ears. Lean back on your heels, bend the knees, breathe in, pull the belly button towards the spine, long straight vertebra, and release. And then the left hand, reaching up towards your ears, looking down at an angle in front of you. So not straight down, but at an angle in front of you to create that long straight spine. And if you can, breathe in out as we lift both hands up in line with the ears, bending back, bending the knees, pushing out the tailbone. 7, let's see if we can hold it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release one vertebra at a time. And we come back up to standing. Excellent, great work. And now let's go into a little bit of balance. So, we need to come with our feet hip width apart, spread the toes, and how I like to do this is by pushing my big toes firmly into the ground. I prefer to work barefoot because I feel I can engage more and ground myself more. And then pushing the other 4 toes out alongside each big toe. When I feel grounded, I make sure that my knees are relaxed. And we're going to lift the right foot. So we need to focus on the spot in front of us. Keep feet hip width apart, hands at the side, and we need to imagine that there are 2 beacons of light on the hips. So we want to keep the hips straight, looking forward, and not tilting to one side or to the other. And I'll show you how to do that. Transferring the weight to the left-hand side. We're going to gently take the heel of the right foot off the floor and drop the right hip crease down towards the floor. and that maintains the direct headlights in front of us. It creates an opportunity for the hips to remain square to the front of the room or the front of your vision. And if we can manage that, it's fine. If that's all we can do today, that's fine. Bringing the belly button towards the spine, let's try and lift the right toes gently off the floor. Again, making sure not to lean to the side, but to create the awareness by keeping the right hip crease down. In fact, you can put your fingers on the hip creases and making sure that they don't tilt from one side to the other. And you can feel that if you grip that with your fingers. And then if you want to challenge yourself a little bit further, you can, of course, lift the whole foot off the floor, eventually with your knee in line with your hips. And release. Did you manage that? Did it work for you? Walk it out. And then again, with all those rules in mind, so belly button towards the spine, your third finger or your fingers or your hand at your hip crease, your beacons of light on, shining forward, your focus in front of you. Let's take the left heel off the floor. Breathe. Breathe. And if you can, begin to lift your left toes off the floor. And eventually, if you can, if that's what you can do today, lifting the left leg so that the knee is in line with the left hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's lower the foot gently. And from here, we're going to come onto our backs. So crossing one foot over the other, we lower ourselves, or as you wish, coming down first onto sitting, then onto your shins, and then eventually onto your back. And I'll just adjust the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. And wait for everybody to join me in. And here we're going to stretch out, taking a full body stretch. This is your time for me. Isn't that delicious? When we set up, what we need to look at is imprinting as much of the spine along the mat. So breathing in, breathing out as we engage the belly button, hugging the lower ribs in to engage with the mat, to touch the mat, pulling the lower spine towards the mat, and enjoy that stretch. Now taking the feet hip width, mat width apart. Taking the hands to a T position. The palm of the right hand facing the ceiling or the sky. Let's take the left hand all the way over so that we eventually arrive palm to palm. Following the left hand with your eyes. Coming right across. What a lovely stretch for the spine. And breathing. And breathing. And release all the way back, following the left hand until it's fully extended into a T shape. And with the palm of the right hand facing the ceiling, the palm of the left hand facing the ceiling, let's take the right hand all the way over to the left. Of course, the trick is to try and keep those feet as steady as possible. So keeping the toes perhaps pointed to the ceiling or pointed to the side. Let's take the right hand all the way over, following with our eyes. Until we get palm to palm on the left-hand side, and then following back as we release. Now I want you to bend the right knee, sole of the feet on the floor, bend the left knee, take the feet mat width apart, your hands are still in a T shape as we bend both knees as a windscreen wiper to the right, taking the head with you, and then to the left, taking the head to the left. Feeling the opening in the shoulders. The ideal is to make the shoulders, to allow the shoulders to touch the floor. If that works for you, that's great. It's a lovely stretch, a great feeling. That doesn't work for you, it's something to work on. So this time, taking both knees to the right. And if you want more of a stretch, taking the right heel onto the left knee, head looking to the right, both shoulders on the floor. If the knees reach the floor, that's great. If the knees don't reach the floor, now's the time to use your block. So either stretch to the right, or your book, or your blanket. And then release, and taking the stretch to the left, feet hip width apart, mat width apart. As we stretch both legs to the left, and again, by all means, use a block under the left knee. If you want more of a stretch, take the left knee, the left ankle onto the right knee, right thigh. Looking to the right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should be feeling nice and stretched, nice and relaxed. So knees hip width apart. And again, this is a good time to use a block, a very light book, a blanket. We're going to try some bridge. So putting the block between your knees, grasping the block, the book, the blanket, going to try and set ourselves up so that the knees are facing the ceiling, not the side, facing straight up, and the spine is imprinted on the floor. The other thing to watch out for is your chin, of course. Your chin should be parallel to the ceiling, not looking down, and your neck should not be overarched. A tip is you can also use a block under your head. That feels quite good. So keep it there if that makes things more comfortable for you and allows you the space to release the spine onto the floor. I'm going to keep the block between my knees. It reminds me to focus and not let my knees come out to the side. So bringing the knees closer to your hips if you can, and extending your hands so that the third finger reaches the heel of either foot. Breathing in, breathing out as you hug the lower ribs to the floor. Hug the belly button in so that the whole spine is on the floor as we begin to lift the back. So breathing in, breathing out as we come off the floor, one vertebra at a time. Remember to engage the knees, keeping them aligned. Keep the chin facing the ceiling and lifting the buttocks off the floor right onto the shoulder blades, hands stretched forward. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let's release the spine one vertebra at a time to come back to the floor with the lower spine engaging last with the floor. And again, breathing in, breathing out as we reach one vertebra at a time up off the floor. Both shoulders should be on the floor. The hand should be on the floor. I want you to start using your quads, pushing knees forward, engaging the hamstrings, and trying to release the big glute. So releasing the buttocks, letting the hamstring, the quads activate, stretch. The shins become involved, the toes are spread, and let's release one vertebra at a time with the lower back coming down last. Oh, well done. And one more time. So again, stretching out the third finger, reaching for the heels of each foot, breathing in, breathing out, making sure that the spine is imprinted on the mat as we bridge the vertebra up, one vertebra at a time. Beautiful stretch, long straight spine. Fabulous for the lower back. Buttocks slightly engaged, but not fully engaged. Block helping the knees align. And let's release one vertebra at. And we can remove the block. Oh dear, we're coming to near the end of our session, so we are going to cool down now. I think what we'll do is just bending the knees. Let's take the right hand on the right knee, the left hand on the left knee, and do some knee circles. And again, opening the knees as wide as you can. At that widest point, just holding the knees towards you and enjoying the stretch in the groin muscles and the inner thighs, the top of the inner thighs. Breathing in and breathing out. Chin point parallel to the ceiling and spine imprinted on the mat. And you should feel that lovely stretch before you press forward. And then bring the knees back towards your chest. Let's go the other way. Pushing the knees out, stretching the hands, and opening the knees in opposite directions. Taking that stretch to the furthest most point of your capacity. Feeling the adductors. That's the top, the inner thighs. And slowly bringing the knees towards the chest. You can actually, from the beginning, we learned how to engage the arms, engage the elbows. If anybody can, to clasp both elbows over the knees for more of a stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, and release. And then coming onto the side and gently pushing yourself to sitting. Let's end in a cross-legged position, if you can. Using the block, if you need to. It helps to align the spine perhaps more, that's without the block, perhaps, and using the block. You may find that easier to aim for a long, straight spine. Wherever you are today, the hands together on the sternum. Keep practicing. I'll see you again on Monday, same time, same place. Let me know how you felt about the exercises today. Again, the email address is therapysupport@tdf.org.uk, therapysupport@tdf.org.uk. And if you enjoyed today's session and would like to donate something, because we rely on your charity, we are a charity that relies on your donations to keep us alive, please feel free to go onto our website, which is www.tdf.org.uk, www.tdf.org.uk, and you'll see the Virgin Giving icon. Please feel free to donate what you can as a contribution to help us bring these webinars to you on a continuous basis. Enjoy the sun. It's going to be a great week. Remember to drink lots. Use your block. Keep practicing. Bye now.